and gentlemen, your attention, please.
Keep the faith, hold the line, and own the libs.
It's time for our main event.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ruthless YouTube exclusive. Jimmy Kimmel. We're all aware, and we've talked ad nauseum here on the Ruthless Variety program about what has become of late night television. And the Colbert thing and CBS canceling him and that all kind of... But the worst offender has always been Jimmy Kimmel. Always. Yeah. That turned late night comedy into a platform for political advocacy. He's done this for a long time now. Most people don't watch it, which is why it's not a larger part of the conversation. But let's just get a load of what this guy has to say. Clip 2.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half-staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction. There's demolition, construction. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish, okay?
Okay, so let me start with the last part first, which is the statement out of President Trump immediately, followed by was it an Oval Office? An Oval Office address.
Followed by an appearance on Fox and Friends in New York.
Followed by a Oval Office address in Fox and Friends, and then he went and the point is that he addressed this on like 4 different occasions about how he was personally dealing with this, and he's asked a question. He tries to like obfuscate. Obviously, he's trying to deal with moving forward in some ways, but I have no doubt about where the president's heart is on this because he expressed it over a 5-day period of time, clearly. So Jimmy Kimmel's going to take that clip and try to yuck it up.
Yeah.
And pretend as though the president doesn't care a lick about something that he is, I mean, an Oval Office address. Guys, like, it's war, peace, like major domestic. I mean, there are things that get a president behind the resolute desk talking about, and this is one of them.
I gotta say, like, also just like such a weird thing for that whole audience to be clapping about at the end. Like, it just felt so gross and weird.
It's because they don't see conservatives as people. The dehumanization process is complete for the left. They've convinced themselves that you never feel sympathy for, you never try to understand a conservative because they aren't people.
Now let's go back to the first part, which was where he suggested that all of the discussion surrounding Charlie Kirk's murder in and of itself was an attempt by MAGA to try to change reality, to pretend like it wasn't one of their own. That's his quote.
Yeah.
Their own who murdered Charlie Kirk. Now we know the facts, right? We know the prosecutor came out and read the text messages. The prosecutor came out and discussed the interviews that they had with people motivated by leftist ideology, became increasingly political, was living with his alleged gay lover who was allegedly transitioning at the time.
And then all the conversations with family and stuff. And the governor of Utah also spoke to all of that. Like, the fact pattern's very clear.
And that's the thing. And all of that was before Kimmel said all that. He, like, the governor, everyone had already established that this person was a leftist and that the family said that this is, like, all information was already out. And so Jimmy Kimmel is willfully lying and trying to further brainwash his audience. But continue.
Not for nothing, fellas, he wrote left-wing talking points on the bullets.
Yeah.
I mean, I fundamentally do not understand. I didn't understand what that first reporter was doing, and I don't understand why the left feels compelled to pretend like they aren't culpable at some level, unless they know that they are much more culpable for much more violence that happens in this country than has ever been exposed. And they're very nervous, and I think they're very nervous right now.
Well, because there's nothing they're willing to do about it. Can we play that clip one more time, winners? I mean, I want, because there's a couple of nuances in here that I think are worth examining. Can we play the Jimmy Kimmel thing?
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them, and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger-pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half-staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie.
So you can
Kirk.
stop
May I
it.
ask, sir, personally, how are you?
So Trump flew the flags at half-staff, but then he didn't do anything about it.
I want to come back to a couple of things. He flew the flags at half-staff, which got some criticism. Where did that get that? It tells you everything about the information flow in the silo in which people who are... They benefit from a broadcast medium, one of three, that have broadcast late-night comedy shows.
Operate with a license that belongs to everybody listening to this show.
It is one of the very few opportunities to, like, if you buy a TV set, you have no cable at all, you can still figure out how to get broadcast at bunny ears or whatever. Like, those are licensed by the American taxpayer. This is a person who has been charged with the responsibility to broadcast broadly. And I understand that it's different in the age of the internet than it was like 50 years ago in terms of your content moderation or whatever. But what he said, and he gave himself away there, was that they flew the flags at half-mast, which has been criticized. Where?
Right.
Where?
I mean, in his office.
If it was criticized, it was in the darkest, deepest fever swamps of the far left. There wasn't a single member of Congress that talked about it. There wasn't a single senator. There wasn't a single other news journalist that discussed it. Where was it?
Yeah, which tells you everything that informs the content of his show.
And that tells you everything about where they get the content for the Jimmy Kimmel show. And that, my friends, is problematic. Wow. Think about it.
It's a really good point.
Just think about that. I think that's the most revealing part of the whole statement. The whole thing was objectionable and ridiculous.
Dude, their writing room must be a collection of the worst people you could meet.
The worst people. I mean, imagine being like, oh, yeah, no, I mean, nobody was talking. No, literally nobody was talking about it.
That's amazing. What a diagnosis.
Stay tuned for tomorrow's episode. It's absolutely fantastic. That will come out at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. Like and subscribe. You won't miss a thing. Thanks for joining us.